Evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton Geoffrey here with Adam Ross. As always, I'm at my normal home studio. Adam is at Hills, I think, right? Cutting the TSN
Yep.
broadcast for this weekend.
Yes, sir. We
Cool.
just finished it up.
So Decker won't be licking your hair tonight?
No, there should be nobody licking my hair, but we never know.
All right, enough with the silliness. What a great weekend we had, Adam. Let's jump right into that. Dean Reynolds from Dirt Car and the Empire Super Sprints will be joining us to talk about Super Dirt Week coming up for those dirt car fanatics. We've got a lot of stuff to cover on the program. We saw a lot of crazy action this past week. There's a lot of crazy action coming up this week, both on the dirt and the pavement. And we're going to talk about all that coming up here in the next hour. As always, we prefer if you guys will comment and question and let us know what you want us to talk about. And if you have anything you want our opinions on, we'd love to hear from you. Adam, where would you like to start about Delaware? Maybe we should start with Thursday. I got to go to the concert. What an amazing job it was to see Dean Brody, James Barker Band, Jade Eagleson, and there was one other guest there, but I missed the first band. We got there a little bit later, but what a fantastic energy. Delaware did it right. The concert was amazing, and then we were camping there, so it was nice to wake up Friday morning. Or I wouldn't say nice, but cool to wake up Friday morning and see all the concert like a circus just gone. Like we were back to a racetrack. There was no stage, no big screens, no VIP suites. All the temporary stuff they had in beer gardens was gone. They did a fantastic job executing it. If you were at the concert, hopefully you liked it. We really enjoyed our time there, and it was great to hang out with everybody. I just love that atmosphere, Adam. We need to do more of that at the racetracks.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I've seen a lot of different things over the years. I mean, I've been a part of the NASCAR finale in Canada since 2007, and this was by far the best atmosphere yet for the finale. Just great crowd, lively crowd, great action, huge intensity. It was excellent.
Yeah, then we jumped into Friday night. Was the quick super stocks and the bone stocks. What an amazing race that was. We have some clips from that. Before we run the clip package, anything you set it up for us, Adam? What were your impressions of the quick super stocks this year? I thought the series was fantastic. There's so much young talent in there coming up through it, and even guys like Pete Van Der Wees getting back into it. I think it's a great deal.
The racing was fantastic. The rules package had to be pretty good because there was great parity in the series. I mean, phenomenal shows. 5 races of specials was just right because they really encouraged these drivers. In fact, in order to be a factor in the championship, you really needed to gather some home track points as well. So it was just well done, and the racing was phenomenal.
Yeah, Lane Zardo came into the night. He was a little bit behind as we look at some clips. Delaware was a great place to watch these guys race. Call this one for us, Adam. Highlights that we're watching here. Some awesome action. The cars look fantastic.
And of course, yeah, great looking cars. Yep, Garrett Teemersma got out in front in that number 17, but the 36 Elaine Zarda was just too good. We saw there Trevor Culver. That might have been his championship hopes going around when Garrett Teemersma went around. He got sent to the back. There was a lot of contact, a lot of cars getting spun out there, which was unfortunate. Ryan Dyson in the 28 looked like he might have been on his way to get a victory, but Lane Zardo stood tall in victory lane. A great inaugural champion for that series. I mean, Lane Zardo is a super ambassador for the sport of racing.
Yeah, I think, wow, what can you say about Lane? He's kind of got that badass cool factor, the Burt Reynolds glasses and the badass stash, and it's kind of the old school racer type. And then, I just think he's going to be a good poster boy for that series, that's for sure. And as the champ, let us talk about the tech they had to go through. They did tear the motor down into, as according to his Facebook post, 4 pieces. And, we talked about it in our pre-race show for the APC series when I got to interview him. Any good racer, as some of our tech guys, Mike Miller and that would say, any good racer should respect a serious teardown. as validation for the talent and the effort your team's put in. And I think that's what Lane got out of it. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass, and I'm sure he was frustrated, but I think it quelled all the rumors that the car was over competitive, if you want to put it that way, or illegal. So for them to go out and have to face it, and let's face it, Daryl Timmermans and the crew there at APC, that's not a room of doom I would want to choose to roll into if I had to. So I don't know, what's your take on that, on the tech end of things?
I think they did a great job, and as you say, racers will always find something to complain about, but a champion will never complain about being tore down in tech.
No. So I think a lot of the guys could relax a little bit more and kind of accept the results as they were. What a great deal to have Wick jump on board. I know, Adam, you and I got to camp with Frank and Dave right across the dirty, muddy road, and there was tons of rain out there. That's something we need to touch upon, the rain around the area at Delaware Speedway, because everything was flooded. But I'll get back to my Wick thing. We're forging a relationship here with the guys from Wick, Frank and the new president, Dave Lloyd, and they'd spent all 3 nights at our campsite, right, talking business and fun and family and feeding us poutine and having a great time. And I think, they did a fantastic job as ambassadors in picking up this sport as well from the sponsorship side. That they're giving a trip to Costa Rica for the champion. It's just a lot of great stuff going on there with the Wick side. So great to have them on board for what they've got going on. And let's talk about the weather around there, Adam. We were shocked when we were pulling in. All the farmers' fields were flooded. I think you mentioned throughout the night how lucky they were that Delaware was on some elevation compared to the rest of the ground around it.
Yeah, not much elevation. I mean, Joel's right. There were cornfields that were buried underwater. Like, you go across the bridge that's normally just a little river, and it looked like you were crossing a lake.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing I thought, that all the grounds would turn into a soupy mess. I mean, we've been at Dirt Week without as many campers and stuff, and it just turns into a disaster. But I think other than the main parking lot, most of it's going to come out all right. But yeah, up on top, which was strange because you wouldn't think that would be the driest part. But man, the parking lots, I don't know if you got to see them behind the grandstands. I'm sure Russ Erlin's not impressed on Monday when he looked at his grass, but that just happens. We have that many fans and they have to find somewhere to park, and not everywhere is dry. So I'm sure they pulled out a few people on over the weekend, but all in all, I thought everything went well. I was super impressed with that. Friday led into a great atmosphere, which was capped off by the NASCAR Pinty Series. Do you want to talk about that now, Adam? You want to talk about it all in one package a little bit later down the rundown?
No, whatever you want. I'm easy. We got a lot of questions coming in through the chat, so I'm sure we're gonna get into it over that. So we can do opinions, whatever you want.
NASCAR Pinty Series Friday night, then let's talk about that. First out, Trey Lapspitch running very well, leading the laps, and DJ Kennington, the hometown guy, came up and stole it from the veteran, picking on the youngster, as some said. But that was good, hard racing. You got to call the race. What were your thoughts on
it? It was a compelling race. 20 cars. That's an excellent car count for that series. Car counts are going in the right direction with that series. It was just a fun race to call. I mean, a last lap bump and run for the win. It doesn't get much better. Second place driver storming victory lane. It's all going to be on TSN on the weekend. So that is what you asked me about, wasn't it? Was the Pinty race?
Gonna be good. It's going to be good for TV. I thought Trayton handled himself right. Didn't go up, wanting to fight, but did want to say his piece. And you have to, if you don't, you're going to get walked on for the rest of your career. So you at least got to get up and let them know you weren't impressed by what happened. And I thought things, handled well. It's definitely going to make for good TV this weekend on TSN. I'm sure of that. So we'll have to watch how that goes. This Saturday, the Canadian Tire 125 will be airing on TSN. So make sure you check that out. Anything else you want to add from that race? We got 2 more to talk about. So
not really. It just tightened up. Yeah, tightened up the point standings. Alex Tagliani came in with a healthy lead in the points. Friday, that kind of came unraveled. He struggled on Friday night, couldn't get up to speed. LP Dumoulin had a solid night, so closed that lead down to 5 points. DJ Kennington needed to make up 15 points on the points leader over the final 3 races to win the championship. Friday night, he made up 20 points. So he was 5 points even to the good. So that set up an exciting Sunday.
I thought that was a great capper to the night. The mix of the Quick Wick Super Stocks, the Delaware Home Division, and then the NASCAR Pinty Series was a solid Friday night kickoff to the weekend of racing. Then we switched over to Saturday. We woke up to rain, Adam, and, a lot of people were wondering how it was going to turn out. I mean, even us, we were debating what time did we show up, what time did we get started with all of our recording and that. It was determined after a bit of a meeting in our trailer that we would get on it and we'd produce a bit of a pre-race show. And I think we, for a first kick at that, we had some fun doing it. It was great to talk to the drivers, get their perspective leading into it. So if you want to check that out, go to the Saturday broadcast here on G-Force from the APC Championship race. I thought it was great. The APC Series shows very well there.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have to cram a lot of racing in on Sunday. I thought the weather was going to win on Saturday. It did not. Hats off to Luke Ramsey, Russ Erlin, and the Delaware crew for having vehicles on the track, trying to get it dried off throughout the day Saturday. There were times I thought, man, this is pointless. Why do they have cars out already? But they got things rolling almost on time Saturday. So they really stuck to a plan, executed, and they need to be commended for that.
Yeah, I think we were maybe an hour behind at most when you saw the amount of rain that came in throughout the day at various times. But it broke into a beautiful night, and the action was great. Let's look at some clips from the APC Series. It's our sizzle reel that you catch at the end of the show here. And, man, I love that drone shot flying backwards at the cars as they come down the straightaway. And some good action in this one too, Adam. What did you take away from this race?
Brandon Watson made it exciting. He qualified outside of the top 10, so he was not looking great all night long. He had to move through the field. For Pete Shepard or Trayton Lapsevich, they had to get out front, lead laps, and win the race. It was not to be for Pete Shepard, but Trayton Lapsevich, he got out there, did what he needed to do, so it put it in the hands of Brandon Watson, who needed to finish 6th or better to guarantee himself the championship, and that's exactly what he did. By 1 point, Brandon Watson wins the title. I mean, what an exciting finish. Trayton Lapsevich did what he needed to do, getting his first career APC Series win, but Brandon Watson did what he needed to do to take home the big trophy.
Yeah, so close on the math. Nobody knew what was going on. Even as we're in victory lane, they're still trying to tabulate it out. It definitely brought some drama to the situation. Trayton finally breaks through. I mean, that kid's been so fast this year. Let's talk about the season he had for a while out in both divisions, NASCAR Pinty Series as a rookie and in the APC Series. He looked very good, very fast everywhere he went. He needed to buy some luck this year. If he had a bit more luck, he probably would have knocked down a bunch more wins. Agreed?
It takes so many things to be a champion. So many things.
And we had talked about – sorry.
No, I should have kept going.
I thought you were going to give a list there.
Minimize your bad nights, right? So turn your 16th place finish into an 11th place finish. Turn a DNF into an 18th place finish. And that's what Brandon Watson did. Sunset Speedway, brake line comes off the car. They cramp it down with a pair of vice grips, send it back on the racetrack. Those are the things you have to do to win a championship. Every point matters.
I used to like to say to the young racers, it's the ABCs of racing. You have to get through the assholes and the bullshit to win a championship sometimes. So,
classy.
Oscar Hot Rods,
too much.
Adam. Go ahead.
It's too much to go on a bumper sticker. You lost me.
Yeah. Oscar Hot Rods and Oscar Modifieds were a great addition to the program, Adam. That Oscar Hot Rod division is pretty wild. The Modifieds just look badass. The racing is good. The car counts were great. Kudos to Dave and the folks at Oscar. But let's talk about the finish with Jesse Kennedy. So, Spencer, I asked Spencer to prepare a clip. You got a clip of this, Spencer? Let's see what we got of this. And let's try and watch this one, and we'll dissect this one a little bit.
Lap traffic might still be a factor in this one as they come down. It's going to be 2 laps left to go. Make that one more lap. Nope, 2 to go. I saw the flag man with the white flag.
So, Craig and I saw the same
Spencer.
thing. The
Pause
white.
there.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead.
The white
Adam.
flag came. So when they went to hold up 2 flags, he had the white flag unfurled. Enough so that Greg Callanan called it as part of the show. Oh, last lap. So we get to see the scoreboard and the flagman. Clearly, the white flag was open. So the white flag was out. They corrected that to give the 2 to go. So that's what we were just watching. Carry on, Spencer.
Saw the flagman with the white flag. And little premature flagulation there.
Oh, nicely done. Multiple choice. 2 laps, 1 laps, race till you're done.
Those 2 lines right there were perfect. Premature flagellation and then multiple choice. 1 laps, 2 laps, race till you're done. Oh my God, I was pissing my pants laughing when I watched it back. That was great.
That turns out to be a little bit of prophecy, though, right?
Yeah.
Multiple choice. Yeah, you see the white flag, and I've trained young people, mostly my son, but a little young karters. You don't slow down when you see an accident. You slow down when you hear the yellow flag is out. You don't stop racing. You play to the whistle. You don't stop racing until you see a checkered flag. I don't care if they give you a 2 to go signal for 20 laps. Doesn't matter if they give you the white flag for 10 laps. You keep racing until there's a checkered flag waved.
So, let it play.
All the race leaders. Kennedy gets around the first car very well. He's having to check up a little bit for the second piece of traffic as the white flag waves.
For the second time.
Oh, Kennedy misses the mark in turn number 1. Book goes around. Kennedy might have thought that was the checkered flag.
Thought it was the checkered flag.
Oh, no.
Coming down to the
So the race goes on. There's been no checkered flag. Now the checkers are waving. Steve Book crossed the checkered flag first. Jesse Kennedy crosses in third.
Wow.
I think Dalen Martin finished second. Kennedy limps across to third. Still nothing is being said. And I can tell you, the officials in the tower didn't see what happened. They didn't know what was going on.
And waved the white flag briefly. I mean, what was it? Couldn't have been more than 2 seconds. And then gave the 2 to go. Jesse Kennedy came by, took the white flag, which he might have thought was the second time he'd taken the white, and Kennedy slowed down in 1 and 2.
Now Kennedy's going to come down the front stretch here.
And he thinks he's won.
He thinks he's won.
Kennedy pulled into victory lane.
Wow.
And he thought he had won the race. I mean, you can't blame him for thinking that he had won. So you have to play this through as though you're every one of the drivers. So Jesse Kennedy thinks he's won. Steve Book is still racing. He makes the pass for the win. He knows he's the first to have crossed under the checkered flag. All this time, these drivers have one-way receivers in their ear. The race director can talk to them. Nothing has been said yet. Jesse Kennedy pulls into victory lane. Nothing is said over the one-way radio. Jesse's out of the car, so he can't hear his radio if he wanted to. There's 2 flag people, and they are not leaving the flag stand, Clint.
And I'm down there looking up to them. Can you play that more, Spencer, or was that the end of it? Yeah, let this go if you can.
I don't understand that. They threw the white flag the lap before, come across for the checkered, and then they go another lap.
Good question. You got to find some officials and get your answers here, sir.
Well, I suppose. I don't know what they want to play here.
There's an upset Jesse Kennedy, as you can imagine. We'll get over here and talk to Steve Book as they sort this one out, guys.
Another fabulous line. No, Spencer, keep that going if you can. Because Steve Book answered it so very well.
I don't blame Jesse Kennedy for being upset. And truthfully, an official needs to go down there and walk. Like, the announcers shouldn't be explaining that. They're
Steve Book's out of the car, guys. Anyways, as they try and find out, Steve, they've given you the checkered flag. There's a bit of a dispute with Kennedy because he felt the white flag came out twice. What did you see?
I seen I got the checkered.
They're very
And Jesse went over and shook his hand. Jesse was gracious in that sense. So the issue is the white flag was displayed twice. You race to the checkered. My biggest issue, and I don't want to pick on someone. I don't like to make someone feel bad, but that flagman needed to come down off the flag stand, walk to victory lane, and explain to Jesse Kennedy what happened.
Now,
own it.
Yes, but So there are a couple things that I don't really feel it's 100% on the flagman because, like you said earlier, you got to play to the whistle. That's one thing. 2, it's not like they went to lap 30 and then got the white and they went an extra lap, at which point Jesse was actually the leader on lap 30. Greg actually commented this if you watch the whole broadcast, and that's a beauty part of this. You can go back and watch it all on G-Force here. It's the Saturday's portion of the show. But Greg mentioned that he looked at the clock, and when he threw the white, it was really only lap 28. So, when he dropped the white when we should have been 2 to go, and that was a bit of a mistake. I wouldn't say he wasn't viciously waving that white flag, but it was unfurled out of the basket enough for Jesse in a quick glance to think that he saw it, right? Would that be a safe assessment of how it was?
Yeah,
absolutely. It wasn't even a full wave. It was it kind of dropped out. The white flickered in the sky for a second. He grabbed it back up right as the leaders were coming by, though. So the timing was perfect, but Jesse, you still got, like you said, you got to play till the deal. We talked about this, but man, what a bit of drama. I felt weird too because Jesse's down there, and I don't even know who the winner is at that point. Are they giving it? Are they saying Because I could see it go the other way. Now, if you're on lap 31, they could say, "Wait a minute," and I could see us having to officiate that and go back and say, "Okay, if it was an extra lap that was tacked on." Then you could make a case to book and say, look, Jesse Kennedy was the leader on the 30th lap. We actually went one extra than we shouldn't have. You're not the winner. So, Steve Book was clearly the winner.
Right. Chris Storm is absolutely right. People make mistakes. What can you do? You own them. You explain it. Whether it's Dave Gainforth, whether it's his race director, or whether it's his flagger, someone should have been there in victory lane to have that conversation because it didn't look... It was a bad look because it was exciting. It was a lot of drama. It was unfortunate. Thankfully, things didn't get silly. There was no bitterness. But do you remember this happening at Oswego, Clint?
No, but I've seen a billion laps there. Refresh me.
It happened in a sportsman feature, and I think it might have been John McKinney leading at lap 20, and it went 21 laps, and he got passed on the last lap. Like it was would have been someone's first win, and they had to sort out how to deal with that, but it went an extra lap.
Like I said, if it went an extra lap, I could see it going back and awarding it to who was actually the race leader on lap 30 when they crossed the line. But certainly was some high drama there if you want to watch it. The action was great, though, for both the Oscar divisions. Yeah, I was a little bit strange there, and I was in a tough spot, but also the TV producer and me was like, "Ooh, this is good TV, boys." So definitely some drama. High
and it was
drama.
Caught.
Joel,
it was caught
I blame
camera.
Double J.
It was announced.
It was Double J's fault. That's whose fault it was. All right.
Who's Double J? It's another inside joke that I'm on the outside of, just like Turn 5, an inside joke that I'm on the outside of.
Yeah, so Turn 5 is actually on the rundown. Tell us about that, Adam.
There's nothing to tell. I'll have to watch the clip because I was getting upset. I was getting upset at Greg and Jamie talking about the fifth turn 5. Like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I think I finally said, guys, I don't get it. What do you? I don't get the joke. And then they told me,
Spencer.
They're not pushing things at the moment. It'll be 40 laps to go soon in this race. We're still quite... Whoa, trouble for Sean McGlynn as he heads up towards the wall in turn number 5. McGlynn will come across the racetrack in trouble. We got a battle for the lead. Jake Gemmel to the inside laps of it.
Here comes Gemmel to the inside in corner number 1.
So let it play on because
it doesn't 32 and take the lead off of the second corner. And Pritico, he's sizing up the second place.
So you clearly said heading up to turn 5.
I didn't see what happened to get Lapsevich up off the bottom of the racetrack, but Gemmel really got a good run there through 3 and 4, and Sean McGlynn way off the pace on the backstretch.
Must have been that wild trip through turn 5.
Again, I didn't catch my mistake, so I don't get what they're making fun of.
I've got to think brakes were a problem there as slow as he came into the pits. I got to think he's having a problem getting that car woed up.
I was beginning to think I was in Pocono in an alternative universe somewhere.
I couldn't let it go.
What did I miss there? I don't get it.
You said turn 5. He had problems in turn 5.
Holy moly.
It's not even past that hour, Adam.
I said that out loud?
Yes.
I'm going to start looking for a track map here.
I didn't get it. What are they talking about?
Like, I was hoping once I heard it back just now, I might be able to go back and understand like where the. By the end of Sunday, Clint, I was slurring my words, and I didn't drink.
Saturday
Like I
at
had
8:00 at night.
I know the whole. I didn't catch it, and then they're poking fun at turn 5, and Jamie's talking about poking them. Like, what the hell? Like, what?
When he said I gotta
what's
find a
the
track
joke?
map, I nearly pissed my pants laughing. I thought that was hilarious. And hey, we've all done it. I mean, I caught myself doing something stupid the other night on the air too, and you're just like, oh man, when you watch it back, God damn it, how did I say that? But that was a classic line, and I gotta say, Jamie Maudsley was a great addition to the program, and we've had some great announcers that have joined us throughout the year. Jamie's just got that long, drawn-out, jokey humor that, like, he did that one, and I wish we had it, pulled it. It was where he's talking about the phone, and it was classic.
Yeah, everyone who's in the audience, reach into your pocket, reach into your purse, pull out your cell phone.
And he goes, no, and take a picture of your seat. And it was a big long drawn thing. And he said, and if you don't have your phone, it's down at the novelty booth. You lost it or something like that. It was perfect timing.
It was well done. And that's
Riley Brevin
Jamie Maudsley.
Riley Brevin says G-Force turn 5 shirts.
Yeah.
And
I'm so glad looking back
with my buddies from the accounting firm Dewey, Scrum and Howe, and
talking about the points. He says we're up here calculating the points from our buddies at Dewey from the law firm of Dewey, Scrum and Howe, or accounting firm. Sorry, we had a lot of fun. We really did.
Glad. Right, you need to pick on those mistakes because it's fun. We are human, and I make mistakes. So,
want to send a shout out to the other two announcers that joined us on the weekend on our broadcast. Was it Jamie's son on Friday?
Yeah, Jordan did a great job.
And then Brandon Doherty came in and helped with the NASCAR stream on Sunday for both races.
See,
and
there you go.
We've become a friend of Brendan Doherty.
There, we all make mistakes. As I think you called him Brandon the first time, but then you called him Brendan the second time.
Yeah, but Brendan came in. He did a great job. We've worked with him a few times this year. That brings me back to somebody asked her, will we be helping at Peterborough for Autumn Colors? That's not the plan. We are working on a deal right now to get it as a G-Force Light broadcast. We have a camera operator in place. We're just trying to work out a few more details. But I did hear that Brendan Doherty has been brought in to be a part of that announcing crew or handle the announcing at Autumn Colors. So for those who asked about that, that's where we are. NASCAR Pinty Series finale on Sunday. Adam, we got going. It was a big day for the NASCAR Pinty Series. Basically 2 of those races and the King of the Hill. You know what, Adam? I found out later the King of the Hill, which was basically spectator one-on-one races, depending on what circles you're in. The Viper that won it was actually Dylan Sharp, who was a mini stock racer at Flamborough. And I didn't realize it was Dylan. Yeah.
I had heard. Go ahead.
Connection there. I sold my motorcycle, an old motorcycle in my backyard for parts a couple years ago, and Dylan actually bought it off me. And then my buddy Spiro actually messaged him and said, hey, you sold my bike because I bought it from Spiro. It's just such a small world. And I saw Dylan there. He was telling me this whole story Saturday. And it was just crazy to see. What else you got?
I had a lot of fun watching it, but I had heard there were like 60 cars entered in it.
Yeah, there wasn't that many, but for $2,000, you thought there would have been more come out.
Yeah, it was cool to watch for sure.
And of course, Jamie Maudsley brings his humor to those events too. It was good to see. NASCAR Pinty Series. Wow, they named it the Fall Brawl, and it was a timely name for what went on there. Yes, we will be talking about Humberstone coming up this weekend. That is part of the segment coming up. So we're going to talk about that and what's coming up on the schedule there when we get to the KOT AST roundup a little bit later down in the rundown. NASCAR Pinty Series. Adam, you're the tour announcer. You're there at TSN cutting the television broadcast from the weekend. We'll let you run with this one. Spencer, what highlights do we got and what can we show to illustrate how wild the day was? So, let's just start rolling.
I love double headers. I love the 125 lap format. I think it's really exciting. If there's one thing we know about doubleheader races on one day, it's that the first one is almost always quite tame. And I don't know what came unhinged on this day, but the drivers missed the memo.
Yeah, it was a wild affair. Great car counts again, and there's tags. So I think this is the second race, Adam. So we have clips from race
so these
2.
are high, because race 1 is probably tied up in litigation with lawyers and people who have nothing better to do than hate on others.
Really? Interesting.
Release, this stuff needs to be released. Show the world. Some bad things happened. Some crashes happened. Nasty crashes. But I don't know.
We're gonna take the politically correct clips and then we're gonna go into the dirt that happened.
Yeah. We might as well not show them. Whatever. Watch it on TSN. It'll be worth it. This weekend there's 2 races. Then next weekend there's the final race. And there was all sorts of drama. There was people getting crashed on the track, and then cars on pit road, and people coming after cars on pit road, and then it just got stupid from there. And I enjoyed the moment because I like calling these things because it's right in front of the fans, and we bring a little bit of flavor to what's going on. And
so
penalties were handed. They were, yeah.
Marc-Antoine Cameron and Shea Gamble got in an incident on the track. I was down on pit road, so I didn't really get a good look at the incident. It happened in turn 1 and 2. What can you tell us about the incident, Adam?
I didn't see it start, but I know Shea Gamble wound up spinning the wrong way. And when I say that, there's a natural way to spin. It's counterclockwise. He spun clockwise, smashed the wall with the left rear corner of the car. I mean, absolutely creamed the wall. Gets out, scurries out of his car in a big hurry, and then he kind of slowed down once he got to the front of the car. We saw Marc-Antoine Cameron drive up near the 8 car of Shea Gamble where he had come to rest, and then turn back down the racetrack. And then everything went haywire from there.
So there was some talk that the 22 took aim at Shea Gamble when he was out of the car. And again, this is hearsay speculation. I didn't see it with my own eyes. This is just what we're going off. Everybody was up in arms about. It was obviously big enough of a deal that I did see some of the 8 crew immediately go down to the 22 crew on pit road. Like Hathaway was off the box in a heartbeat down there, ran up on their box. Again, I was at the other end of pit road, so I was watching from a distance. I didn't get to see a lot of it. So I was pissed because I missed all the drama.
And here's what's dumb. He goes after Randy Steckley, the nicest guy in the pits. Having said that, he would probably put you in the ground with one swing. He's a Milverton boy, for crying out loud.
But let's talk about
tough out there.
So you and I got in a big argument yesterday. Do you want to rehash that argument?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, we got talking about, you said, why wasn't there an official there to stop the 8 from getting out of the car? Did Cameron take a run at him? Obviously, NASCAR felt it was a big enough penalty to send Cameron home and didn't even let him race in the second half of the doubleheader. Now, I'm not sure if that was the official reason why. And again, we're going off speculation as fans would. As Cam says, the crowd all gasped when Cameron swerved. And I definitely think it was there. I had a few people come up to me and say, it was shades of the past and some of these other horrible incidents that we don't need to talk about, but we all know what can go on. And that's why we changed the rules, why drivers can't get out of their cars anymore unless officials are there.
Wait, what's the rule? What's the rule?
Drivers are not supposed to get out of their car, at least at our tracks, until the officials are there. So this is why we got fighting, because you started defending Gamble for getting out of the car. No, sorry. You started saying, what's the – okay, here we go. Perfect. We're seeing it. So there's the wreck. I'm assuming the 22 obviously got the 8 around, right? Is that all we got of it? Okay. So then Gamble gets out of the car. Okay, here we go. I haven't even seen it yet. Yeah, I got to see that again. Play it again, Spencer. And in that look, it didn't look that bad at him. But I didn't see how long he was pointed at him. Okay, so from that angle, not super horrible.
Drives up in his general direction.
Ooh, that one scary. Do we get to see that one again, Spencer? I didn't like that.
Reminds me of the hilarious House of Frightenstein when they do that 3D. Or no, it was SCTV. Scary stuff. I don't see what was... Yeah, Marc-Antoine drove in his general direction. But we've seen people buzz others in the past. You've seen it, I've seen it.
You know, Cam's remarking here, he came up from the bottom of the track and revved up. So those are the big things that scare me, Adam. You know, and we had this talk yesterday. And just because it was done for 20 years and people got away with it, we've shown people can be killed by that. So yeah, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But you still can't be pointing a loaded gun at somebody because the throttle can stick at that moment. It's just such a bad deal. You know what I mean? Like
the throttle could have stuck on any of those drivers' cars.
Adam, how the hell can you defend this? This is what pisses me off about you. You can't see the black and white that this is a terrible thing. Why do you keep defending this action? This is what got me fired up with you yesterday.
It's a dumb thing to do.
What's a dumb thing to do? You're saying it's a dumb thing to do to get out of your car. It's a dumb thing to point a loaded weapon at someone's face because that's what you did right there in the 22.
There's no loaded weapon. There's a race car on the racetrack. I'm just looking at the results.
Yeah, that can go off at any time. So you look at the result. Yeah, he didn't get shot in the face there, but he could have.
Marc-Antoine Cameron finished 10th.
What the hell does that have to do with this argument?
Well, he made that blatant move, and he didn't get parked. He didn't get penalized.
Whatever happened after the race.
He finished 10th. No, his act, what was he penalized for?
Let's get back to the deal. So he didn't get penalized. You say because NASCAR...
I have seen drivers buzz people. I've seen drivers buzz people on the track. That is not what Marc-Antoine Cameron did. That's not what he did. He drove in his direction.
He pointed at him and revved up the motor. Have we not learned from Kevin Moore Jr. that you can kill someone doing that?
That's a different situation. You can't rev up the motor in a sprint car. It's a different situation. I think it's dumb that he did it. I think it's dumb that he did it.
You're so ignorant to this situation.
Clint, we've seen things so much worse.
Yeah, and then we learn people can die from it, so we're trying to prevent it. Just because we watch people be stupid for 35 years doesn't mean we should still continue to be stupid.
I'm not going to get worked up because it's politically correct to get worked up. Oh, we should all be upset.
It's not politically correct. You know me, I don't give a shit about being politically correct. It's about being what's right. And that's just wrong.
Okay, so he did wrong. Lots of racers do wrong. I'm saying the level of reaction should match the situation.
So we'd have to hit him before he's serious?
Or buzz him. That's not a buzz. Not even in the least.
It was enough to make everybody in the crowd gasp.
Not everybody in the crowd. Like I say, it's just like when Matt Weaver wrote a story, everyone was throwing beer cans at sunset. No, you can't make up your own narrative because it suits your story. It wasn't even serious enough to have Marc-Antoine Cameron penalized during that race.
Okay, then why didn't they let him race in the second race?
I'm saying, I don't know. I would assume it was for that. But if it was so blatant, they would have parked him immediately.
I don't agree. Obviously, they talked about it and realized what he did and was bad enough to park him. So it gets worse from there. We can debate this all night. We'd like to hear in the comments. Obviously, Gemmell should have stayed in the seat, yes. But like I said to you in our argument yesterday, Adam, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And Gemmell getting out of the seat is like a misdemeanor compared to pointing your loaded weapon at somebody.
Everyone coming down the front stretch was pointed at Shea Gemmell. You have to be to get down the front stretch.
You're so full of shit. You're trying to twist this around.
That's
for
what
your
you're
own
saying.
narrative.
Oh, what if the throttle stuck? What if anyone's throttle stuck? I'm saying it's wrong. You didn't point a loaded weapon. Like
accidents can happen.
Stop being so dramatic.
I'm just saying, man. I can't believe you're so oblivious to the situation.
If you were just saying If you were just saying, we could have the conversation, but you're not. You're getting all worked up. It's annoying.
You piss me off every day. So what? This is what we're here for.
This is the wrong one to take a stand on. Yeah, it's bad. Put him in the pit.
Okay, so why did the 22 get parked? They did. So what? They didn't park him and take his finish. They kicked him out for the second race. So you're saying because they let him keep his 10th place finish, it's not a penalty? It's not an issue?
No, I think they should have caught it at the time and done something at the time.
Still oblivious. Your argument is bullshit. Anyways, I love fighting with you, especially when
I know. I don't think it's right what Cameron did. I wouldn't do it. If my kid did it,
you've been defending it for 2 days in every conversation we've had about it.
I'm not defending anything. I'm saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's driving a loaded weapon. Like, we have seen so many things that are. I'll tell you what I am impressed with. I'm impressed with what happened on pit road, and Marc-Antoine Cameron didn't hit the gas and drive away, which a lot of people would have done. People would have got seriously hurt. That, I think, is ridiculous.
I agree with that. I'm laughing because Twitch, it says, are you two getting a divorce? Or are we getting two Christmases? That makes me laugh.
I get the other side of the argument, but even people saying, oh, you're wrong, Clint's right, doesn't make me want to scream about it. It's just a part of the story. Yeah, Cameron was in the wrong. It was a bad look. It was dumb. Do I think Daytona needs to get involved? No, I think they got involved enough from the fact that the 22 didn't start the second race. I don't think that was a decision that was necessarily made at the racetrack. I think that's a decision that was made at a much higher level.
Yeah, I'm not privy to those type of conversations. I don't know who's pulling the strings.
Well, neither am I. But nobody did anything during the race. It was done after the race.
But nobody asked you to make that call. We're asking you on what's right and wrong. And what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Yeah, but one is immensely worse than the other.
Right.
Anyways.
But two wrongs still don't make it right.
Well, this fight ain't over because they go down. So after the race, Cameron comes down the front row. Do we have any clips of that, Spencer? I'm not sure if we'd have any of that, but the fight. So coming down the front straightaway, and here we go. So stop it there if you can.
Back it up.
Yes, I don't know how far.
And this is where our fight yesterday got real animated, Clint.
Yeah, so Cameron pulled down, and I'm not sure what happened. Would you say he maybe flipped off the 3 team because he was down? He had to drive past their pit to get to his pit.
Well, clearly things have gone haywire before he does or doesn't give the finger. I mean, there's 50 people on pit road where there would normally be none.
So you think they were coming out to jump the car?
Start the clip, Spencer, and pause it immediately. Like, is that the very beginning of it?
Yeah.
So look at the photographer, Matt Manor on the far left, who was shooting the fellow with 2 jack stands in his hand. Look at what's in front of this race car. Okay, I condemn Mark for what he did on the track. It was wrong. What Shea did on the track was wrong. I think the response time was pretty poor by safety personnel to get to Shea Gemmel. I will commend Mark for not speeding away. He has a race to run in about 20 minutes. They are smashing his windshield with jack stands. They are at the driver's side window. That's Jason Hathaway in a blue hoodie right at the driver's side window. These are not friendly people. Marc-Antoine didn't stomp on the throttle and drive through them. He waited until they were out of the way and then drove through. Okay, so we're telling these stories about what happened and about a crazed driver. And this is not a crazed driver. Maybe he had second thoughts after he did what he did, and he's coming down pit road thinking, I've got to cool myself down. But thank goodness it didn't get more stupid on pit road, because I've got a big problem with people taking equipment out of the pits to use as weapons. Because like I said to you yesterday, Clinton, what's going to happen when you're smashing my car's windshield with a jack stand and I go to stop you? Either you're eating that jack stand or I'm eating that jack stand, because I don't know how many people would politely set the jack stand down to get in a fight.
No, it's fair enough. I give you both those points. You should never be bringing a weapon to a fight, no matter where you're going, because in the hood I grew up with, whatever you take to a fight can easily be turned around and used against you. But as he was coming down pit road, the Ed Hackinson Racing crew got in front of Cameron, as Cam says, and and I was interviewing Brandon Watson, the second place finisher for TSN at that moment. I just looked to my right, and it was a massive brawl going on, 3 pit stalls over. Dean, we see you there, buddy. Give us a minute. We're just in the middle of this fight.
Greg
Callan.
I mean, what is Greg Callan doing? He doesn't watch our show. I think someone came on with his name. Cameron was just making the bend in turn 5.
And I'm not saying Cameron was crazed, just, and
no,
I mean, our next guest, right? Dean Reynolds, can attest to how dangerous this was. He was managing that night on the Kevin Moore and Tony Stewart night. So, man, it's a horrible situation. But anyways,
we've watched this happen for decades at Syracuse when cars would make pit stops. Like they would drive these projectiles. We are just uber sensitive to it in the last 5 to 10 years. Hypersensitive to it.
But I think we should be. Nobody's saying Cameron was – it was that one moment. Anyways, a hell of a brawl ensued, and it really got its moniker, the Pinty's Fall Brawl. And then they had to go at it again. So Cameron got parked.
Right. Marc-Antoine Cameron was parked. The crew member for Hathaway, who took a jack stand to his windshield, was ejected from the property. Otherwise, I don't think there were any other ejections until midway through the second race.
Yeah, then Cole Powell walked down and had some fisticuffs with Alex Gannett, and there was some text exchanges going back and forth, and we don't need to get into those. But what's your quick take on that before we jump into Dean here? Because I know he's got another podcast to get on at 9 o'clock.
Nah, you know what? It was a fight, right? It wasn't a discussion. It wasn't a shoving match. Punches were thrown. Depending on who you talk to, there are different conversations on how the fight went, but I believe each driver got at least a punch in.
Yeah, and that was during the green flag. Cole Powell got taken on the first basically lap or two of the second race after working hard. There were a lot of teams with fuel issues there, lots of stuff going on, and you'll have to catch that on the TSN broadcast the following week. But Cole Powell was upset that the team had thrashed, and as soon as Gannett broke down about 3/4 of the way through the race, as soon as he got out of his car, Cole was there ready to meet him behind the wall, and I guess they had some fisticuffs, and then Cole Powell was escorted out of the facility on that yellow, is what we're told.
Yeah, by Jeff Wilcox. And like Brian Ellis said, how did Jeff Wilcox not choke slam at least one guy? Jeff Wilcox is known for having broken up fights with one hand. I mean, he is a mammoth of a man. Like when he wants things to stop, he will make them stop. And things just got. It was like a full moon kind of day in the middle of the day, and it was exciting for the fans, but there were things that went overboard.
Yeah, I think lots of drama, lots of exciting. Wild action. Ranger wins the second race.
Yeah, I will say this about Cameron. What shocks me, and I asked Cameron to his face, I said, did you hook him in the right rear or did you jack him up? And he says, no, I jacked him up. And there's a difference there as well. And talking to a driver one-on-one and getting their take. But once you do that on the track, there has been issues with the 8 and the 22. Pretty much every race the 8 has been in with Shea Gemmel. Once you do that on the track and say your piece, make your move, take someone out, it's over. You don't need to drive near them under yellow. You've said what needed to be said. Driver who felt something needed to be done, and they did it. That should be the end of it. Maybe a fight afterwards, but not on the track, not pointing your car at anybody, not doing anything like that.
Cam says he turned him from the right. He's got footage, but we have to send that to us. All right. LP Duman was the champion.
And he might have. What I'm saying is I talked directly to the driver and asked him what he did. Right?
We're probably going to go a bit long here tonight because you have a couple more things to get into. But I don't want to cut us off too short, but we have been trying to get Dean for the past couple weeks. Let's talk to Dean Reynolds for a bit because I know he's got to move on in about 5 minutes, and he's been patiently here listening to us bullshit and argue for 10 minutes. Let's bring him in now. Dean Reynolds, Dirt Car Northeast, getting ready for the big Super Dirt Week situation going on at Oswego. Dean, how are preparation going for Dirt Week? What do we need to know?
Oh, I got to call you out, Clinton. When you said the hood you grow up in, I thought Canada has taverns, deer hunting camps, and hockey rinks only.
I don't tell you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Hockey, it's all part of the hood.
I grew up. My hood was the train tracks to the tavern to the steel mill.
There you
Nobody stole from anybody in that neighborhood because you never knew who was behind the door.
Now, as you can see, I'm actually still in the office because I'm doing pit parking and getting my credential list done. So I'm going to pull a half-nighter here in the office. But it's a good time. We're getting ready for Super Deer Week. It's not going to be the same with our Canadian friends, of course. That's going to be a big miss, and that's unfortunate that the border's not open. But I'm happy to actually have an event. We had Oktoberfest last year. That was a good replacement where we ran races with no fans, but at least we were able to hold events with fans, which you are above, in Canada. At least you're holding events with fans now too as well. But Super Deer Week's coming along. We got 180 cars already pre-entered. I think we're probably going to be right around the 230, 240 mark, which is right where we wanted to be because, in 2019, we had 41 Canadian competitors. And really the only two that I know of is Gary Lindbergh and Matt Williamson. They're going to be coming from north of the border. So, it's going to be unfortunate, but at least hopefully everyone can get on Dirt Vision and watch it.
Well, exactly. Thankfully, there's a product that allows people to be involved. I mean, it's not the same because you don't get frostbite, but you can at least keep up in the action.
Yeah, and it's just Super Deer Week. I mean, we all grew up at Syracuse. I know I've known you guys for 15, 20 years at Syracuse, but as you know now, we got a nice little atmosphere in Oswego, and it's really taken off. And we're going to hand out over $400,000 between the 5 nights, between the satellites and the Super Deer Car Series race at Brewerton and all the racing at Oswego. And I just can't wait. That's why I'm here late at night, just to get stuff done and get ready. And then I've already been up there several times, going around the area to track. The clay's already been laid down, and it looks like we got dry weather from today all the way to next weekend. And that's good for me because I got to park all these cars and give them their parking spots. And we have 276 parking spots, and 250 of them ask for a dry spot. And the only way I can do it is to have a week like a week I think we're going to have.
Can you give us 2 or 3 names among the 26 people who did not request dry spots?
One, believe it or not, is Michael Maresca. He actually has one of the spots that does hold water, and he says, "Hey, I just throw that damn hauler right and drive her right in there, and she's stuck. I'll worry about it on Sunday."
There you go.
Dean, quite an adaptation at Oswego. We saw a lot of big improvements the first year. Anything new going on at the Speedway that the fans can look forward to, or any changes that they need to know about maybe coming into this year for the ones who are going to be able to attend?
Well, the first change is Tech is opening on Monday now, where before it used to be on Tuesday. But as we get more cars that come to Oswego, we figure, the Tech team usually gets there on Sunday night or Monday morning anyway. So we decided to open up Tech from noon to 5 on Monday. And then the other big changes are we moved Saturday to really Saturday evening. We found out in 2019 that we held the 358 race after that big long rain delay at night. It turned out to be a real exciting race. So we're like, why not run it at night? It could get cold, but you know what? I think the fans are going to enjoy seeing that event at night. And then just spawn off that, on Sunday, we moved the 200 race, Billy Whitaker Cars 200, back an hour. So we're going to go at 3 o'clock. And that hour can mean a lot. The sun is not that high in the sky. It's at a different angle, and hopefully maybe the temperature will go down just a little bit, and we can give them even a better track, and maybe we'll have 2-3 wide racing for 200 laps.
Well, they're next year when the Canadians come back, Dean, you're really messing with our Thanksgiving dinner.
I tell you what, Brian McDonald did pre-enter, and he asked today, do I get a refund? And I said, no, I already spent your money on beer. And he goes, I'm driving down there to drink it with you. I got a lot of friends north of the border. And, ever since even the ESS days when we came up to Canada back in the early 90s, and then now with Dirt Car. And, I tell you, it's just not going to be the same. I mean, luckily Mark Hitchcock, Dougie Leonard, Dennis Moquin, Mike Kelly. They're going to come. They're going to fly in, come across the border, so they're going to be there to work with us. So it'll be good to see them because I have not seen them in a year and a half, if not longer.
You better look double hard to see Doug. He's half the man he was last time you saw him.
Well, it's funny because when I got new merchandise for him in 2019, now we're 2 sizes bigger than what he needs now. So, but I'm sure he'll manage. And
I told
some
the
of the
story.
some of the officials went the other way though.
I was laughing. I had to order Doug some apparel, and he told me an XL, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this a spelling mistake? And I hadn't seen him yet, and then I saw him, and I'm like, holy crap, Doug, what happened to you? But he looked great.
Yeah.
So good on you, Doug. We're just busting your ass because you did what most of us wish we could do. Let's talk about moving to the nighttime, though, Dean. When hasn't Super Dirt Week not been freezing ass cold? But we loved it anyways, so don't worry about that. But I want to talk about 10 years ago at the mile when we first went to Friday Night Lights. And Super Dirt Week had an amazing atmosphere already, but you elevate that up, and then he goes right from the racing right into the party. I think back to the first time Adam and I ever got to call a race at the mile, which was a rain-delayed sportsman race, and Jessica Zemkin was in it back then, and it was under the lights at night, and the sportsman got to race at night. I think the first time we went to Oswego, I was one of the announcing crew, and we had a bunch of rainouts on the Saturday, and everything went late on Sunday. We had to put the sportsman and everything. Yeah. So, hey, under the lights is always awesome, and I think that's a great choice, Dean. It just seems to ratchet up the excitement a little bit more.
Well, the Friday Night Lights is interesting. When they did the first one on the mile, I loved it because I was drunker than shit by the time they started running those heats. But you're right, though. It was just part of the atmosphere, and it's continued with Oswego. I mean, the crowd that we get, I think we get our biggest walk-up crowd on Friday. I think people just come and, you look at the grandstands during the day, and then you look at night, and you're like, where the heck did they come from? Where on Saturday and Sunday, we're already there. Yeah.
But people are getting lulled into a false sense of comfort, Dean, because we have not experienced the cold. It's almost been a generation since it was better. And Oswego Speedway grandstands get so cold. You're just off the lake. They're steel.
Yes.
When it gets cold again, people are in for a rude awakening.
I tell people that we've been very lucky, and maybe this global warming is a real thing. I don't know, because if you remember the last few Syracuse were warm, we were in shorts. But I do tell people that 40 degrees at Oswego will feel a lot colder than 40 degrees at Syracuse. So, but hopefully we won't have that. But if we do, I'm sure, the fans will find a way to keep warm. They definitely will.
Dean, is there anything else we need to know about Dirt Week? Anything else you want to throw at us here before we let you go? Because we know you've got another webcast to get on here.
No, it's just it's exciting to be back. We're gearing up for the 50th running of next year, so you're going to see some announcements as well. And we're just geared to go and get ready. I mean, I had a 3-hour meeting last night with my officials, and it was shaking the rust off because we haven't been there in 2 years, and just to go over it again and just go dot the I's and cross the T's. But I mean, to our friends north of the border, I just hope you do get on Dirt Vision and watch and enjoy it. Just to let you know, all of us are thinking of you. I mean, it hasn't been the same all year. It just hasn't been the same all year. And maybe I'm going to try to go across the border and go to Brockville if I can at the end of the year. And I'm vaccinated. I'll go get a rapid test, go do the app on the phone, and do whatever we need to do. And then hopefully in 2022, we can all see each other again and, high five each other and have a beer.
Well, Dean, we're actually going to be at Brockville, Adam. I didn't get to talk to you, but I did speak to Dean earlier this afternoon. We do have Dirt Car's blessing to air the Saturday, the full program of the Brockville Fall Nationals live on GeForce TV. So thanks, Dean, for helping making that happen for us. And we're excited to be down there. So Keeman Roberts just asked, are we going to be doing Brockville in the comments? So yes, we will be doing the Saturday portion of Brockville live on GeForce also. Dean, we'll see you in a couple weeks at Brockville. We'll also be watching you and your crew on Dirt Vision. We'll be paying attention to that for sure.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. And by the way, I did enjoy the little footage I was watching. That kind of looks like a pro stock race here in the U.S. So it always gets a little fun to get it ratcheted up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get the blood pressure going.
All right, Dean.
guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
I want to show one other picture. Just get back to our talk before we had Dean. Thanks, Dean, for jumping on. I know we're a bit all over the place tonight, but we're going a little bit long. Do you have the picture of DJ Kennington's son and LP Dumoulin, Spencer? Okay. LP Dumoulin was a champ, Adam. I think he's going to be a great ambassador for his third NASCAR championship here in the Pinty Series. You're not going to beat a nicer guy who handles social media, does everything right. What do you want to say about the 2021 NASCAR Pinty Series champ?
He's a great champion. And I think winding things down to the end of the season, it was all fantastic candidates for the championship. But I mean, LP Dumoulin represents the series very, very well. Great to see WeatherTech, a longtime supporter now of LP Dumoulin, big investor in sports in general north of the border. So pretty cool.
This picture was shared on social media. This is DJ Kennington's son, who's a racer now in the micro sprints. He asked his dad if he could let me get a picture with the champ. Some great sportsmanship going on there between, the Dumoulins and the Kenningtons. Kennington had a shot at the championship and didn't quite get it done, but it's good to see them, getting along like that. Some great sportsmanship there, and just goes to show what type of a champion he's going to be. Tell your dad we said thanks for the photo cam. Anything else you want to wrap up from the dirt side before we talk about what's going on at Humberstone, Knights of Thunder, Action Sprint Tour, and a couple other things, Adam?
No, I think you nailed it.
Just want to say a shout out to everybody from APC, Delaware Speedway, Oscar, who else we leaving out, who helped us get through the weekend. They treated us great. We had a fantastic time. All our guests were treated like gold. The Wick folks, just an amazing time all around. We loved it. We had a great day. Thank you for everybody who made Delaware happen, and I think they have a great future coming. It was a big resurgence down there in Kamoka. Is that where it is? Okay, yeah, Knights of Thunder. Go ahead.
We always said it was in Kamoka, and then for some reason this year when we're doing the broadcast, we say it's right in Delaware. So little of this, little of that. London.
Question about this weekend. So we jump into this weekend. Frosttoberfest is also this weekend before we wrap things up. We are planning on working on a deal to send a camera crew there Saturday and Sunday, but right now it's planned to be live, a light version. Sunday could possibly turn to a live broadcast, but we need to figure out whether they want that to happen or not. So we'll have to figure that out. We are available. If not, we will send a light crew, and we'll have it up in a few days after. This weekend we are set to go Friday and Saturday. These are a double header for both the Knights of Thunder and the Action Sprint Tour. Friday and Saturday will be the last two rounds of the Pinty's Knights of Thunder 360 Sprint Car Series. Championship will be decided on Saturday night, so it'll be exciting to put that to rest and see how that all comes about. We will be live both nights, Friday and Saturday, from Humberstone Speedway, so we could possibly do Flamborough on Sunday. Action Sprint Tour has their two races. They have 3 to go. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and then Brockville on the 16th. Actually, 4 races to go. They have Friday, Saturday now, and then Friday, Saturday on the 15th and 16th at Brockville. 4 races to go for them. We'll be live on G-Force all weekend, and excited to be there. It's going to be an action-packed show. I'm told it will be $25 to get in the grandstands each night. 5-division show. So Friday will be Thunderstock, Sportsman, 358 Modified, Action Sprint Tour, and Pinty's Knights of Thunder. Saturday will be Mini Stock, Thunderstock, the 2 Sprint Car classes, Sportsman, and Modified. So fully jam-packed schedules on Friday and Saturday as Humberstone's trying to give all these guys a last chance to get some racing in. I believe to do one of the dirt races are Friday and Saturday for the Thunderstocks Friday, Mini Stock Saturday. I will clarify that and get you guys an announcement on social media for that right away. I think that's what was discussed.
There was one question much earlier, like way back at the beginning while we're talking about dirt racing on what did the sprint car teams think of the Clinton and Adam, just curious of your thoughts behind the change in the last minute to back out of the sprints for Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. And I think it's worth addressing, Clinton, because it was one time, I'm not a big proponent of democracy in racing. Like, I think there has to be a dictator who does things for the better of the sport, and that's always been the best way. But sometimes when it's overwhelming, you have to listen.
Yeah, I think we addressed it a bit on last week's show. They have some issues, some track condition issues. We had the crates there 3 weeks ago, and they were just not pleased. And word spread like wildfire through the sprint car community that there were some concerns about how things were going to work out. And again, we're not trying to abandon Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. We definitely want to be there. But when the drivers, and as I was explaining it, I'm trying to think who I was explaining this to yesterday because I had this conversation with someone. When the most experienced and most quiet drivers and the veterans who normally don't say anything stand up and start voicing their opinion, you have to listen. You're going to have people that are going to complain every race. I mean, I can name you a bunch of guys who I can tell you right now are going to come up and bitch about something before we even get. You and I had this talk today. I got guys there who complain the track's round, the track is dirt, and we have wings on our car. Like, they'll just bitch about everything. And then I got other guys who don't say shit with a mouthful. And when they start standing up at the meeting and taking the reins and saying things that make sense, you really have to, take heed in what they're saying. And at the drivers' meeting, I was the one saying, look, we wouldn't abandon Merrittville or Humberstone or Brighton if they had a bad night with their track. I mean, that's just not the way we are. But when the veterans stand up and said, look, this is just a problem that is going to take more than 3 weeks to fix. There's a couple other issues we want to see them fix. We want to be there. We want to race that. The crowd is amazing there. And the last thing we wanted to do, but myself as the tour director or president or whatever you want to call me for both the tours, when it got to the point that I said, okay, we had such a cluster going on. I said, okay, everybody calm down. Who wants to still go there on the night? 4 drivers out of the 54 drivers we had in the meeting put up their hand. That was an overwhelming majority. And when I came over to you, we talked about this last week on the show, and you said, what the hell do I do now? And you said, well, you'd be in a way bigger pickle if it was 27-27. And you're absolutely right, because if 50% want to go and 50 didn't, then it's on me to make that call. And I didn't want to make that call. I also didn't want to make the call to Henry to explain why we didn't feel comfortable going. But I don't have any skin in that game. I don't have a car invested in there. I don't have to put my body at risk out on that racetrack. If they're not comfortable there, we're not going to force them to go. Or we could have been pricky, and we could have said, no, if you want championship's still going to be decided there. Take it or leave it. But then 9 guys show up for the race. The other guys are all pissed off at me. That's not a good look for our sponsor. It doesn't look good on TV. There's just no way around it. So hopefully that explains the situation. We have been still working with Henry and Ron down there to figure out a play for them, to figure out how we can get these situations resurrected. And I had this talk with Blake Outhouse at the start of the season when he wanted to book us back in June. And I said, Blake, I'm just worried the track isn't going to be mature enough. And we see that. If you dig a new track or just build something, the farmers around are going to tell you it's going to take a year or two of frost, snow, freezing, settling, all this for it to really compact down where you can start racing on. It's not going to tear up, roll over, rut up with all these situations. So, it's just a situation that the track would not be in shape for our type of race cars. And, and there was other bad optics too that pissed off the race teams. Let's talk about it since you got me fired up now. The other thing that upset our race teams were they let the crates race and then they pulled their home to 2 divisions after and said, no, we're not racing anymore. The track's too dangerous. And that was the sprint car guys feel like, how come we have to go out and do it? And then you don't have, and then you just don't even run your own class, you cowards. But I explained to them, I think it was the situation that when the sprint cars went out there, they were hoping it was going to come around track-wise. And when they saw what the sprint cars were facing, they just realized we can't do this anymore. And that's my perspective on it. And again, I wasn't in attendance. I was with you at Sunset for it all, but it wasn't a great deal. And it's not a position I've ever had to be in or don't want to be in again. Thankfully, Henry and Ron understood our spot, and they're going with it. But and we didn't pull it to move it to Humberstone. The Humberstone was a reaction after the fact. Terry said, hey, we want to get these guys a couple races in so there's not just one left. And it's where we are, man. It's a crazy situation we certainly don't want to be in. But we're excited to be going to Humberstone this weekend. I think we're going to have a great show there. We're worried about timing, but we've already worked Doug Leonard and I've been working on scheduling with the management there to put together an efficient schedule. We've already talked about holding victory lanes and doing no intermissions and just making sure everything starts on time and really trying to cram it in to shave every second we can, because seconds become minutes, become half hours really quick in this game. So we're going to try and be on point. And if we miss it, we'll expect you to call us out on it. I don't know what else we got to talk about, Adam. Are there any questions or comments we might have missed that we need to go back on? I'm not sure. Can't you guys argue a bit more about the big fight? That's awesome.
I think we were on the same page regarding the fight. And I don't.
Dude, you're drunk. What do you mean? We were at each other's throats. I'm right. You're wrong. You were on one side. I was on the right side.
Oh, God. Oh, every time someone agrees with Clint, you get all freaking puff out your chest. You're one of them. You're one of them who just likes to blow things out of proportion.
I do. I over-exaggerate.
You ever watch The Big Lebowski?
No.
Hey, man. You should.
What's our Burger Barn video of the week? Our Burger Barn video of the week this week is going to be Chris, the trophy guy. You meet some cool people at the races, Adam. And Chris watches the gate at Delaware. How do you want to set this up?
You know what? He's a fixture at Delaware Speedway. He works the start-finish line gate of people going across the racetrack. He's one of the most welcoming people. He has so much pride in Delaware Speedway, and he was carrying around the Great Canadian Championship trophy to show anybody who would look on the weekend. So we had the camera there, and we thought, you know what? Let's have a chat with Chris, because he's so proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did, because just to feel the amount of satisfaction, the amount of pride he takes in his racetrack and that trophy and that story. And you could see at moments he was really struggling to find the right words and to keep his composure as he talked it through, but I thought it was amazing. The Great Canadian Race. 40 years into this event, there are some famous names. The very first of which, Don Biederman in 1981. Another thing famous about Delaware Speedway is Chris. You can't go from the grandstands to the pits without passing Chris. And fairly quickly, Chris, you don't need to be a long story, but how important is this race to you?
You know what? With everything that's, oh wow. This race has become one of the most iconic crown jewel events here. And with the names like Don Biederman, Old Ross, Junior Hanley, and now with Steve Robley and Ron Sheridan, and now we have Jeff Fitzpatrick, who won the most awkward Great Canadian about 2 years ago, and history is all in this, and basically the track itself. If this old track could talk, you know history would be like right before your eyes.
Chris couldn't have said it any better, and I'll tell you one thing, if you're at the racetrack and you ever have to go from the grandstands to the pits before the race, after the race, Chris is the friendly face that greets you. You're always going to get a fist bump from this young man, and we appreciate it.
I want to see what's on that camera. He was snapping pictures all week long. I bet he's got some great memories from the week.
Check out Randy Morneau on Facebook. He posts a bit of a tribute to Chris and some of the pictures that Chris has taken over the years. And the racing family is an amazing one. It's so great to spend time with people who, like, we love it, Clinton. We love the races. We go to a lot of places, but every track you go to, there's people who embrace the history and are just part of the tapestry of each track. And he is one of those people.
Agreed. It's been an extra long show here today. We had a lot of fighting going on. We had a lot of good discussion going on. Hopefully everybody here who's watching this will pick a track to go to this weekend, whether you're going to go to Flamborough and support Frosttoberfest the Casellis, Mike Schmidt, everybody else they got going on. I thought Mike Schmidt put a good post up. It was either today or yesterday. I think it said, it'd be great if all the Pro Late models came out and supported Frosttoberfest, because John and the Grisdales were the ones that kept Pro Late models alive when the division was on its ropes, and that's a great thing. Just touching on that, Adam, another thing, we talked a lot about the APC tire issue in pre-race. I didn't hear one issue about the American Racer tires, or no teams bitching during the races, even though they had to adapt to new gears and ride heights and tire stagger, situations.
No. I mean, I'm sure there were drivers who were still inconvenienced, but it is what it is. When the green flag drops, the bullshit stops, and it's time to go race.
Yes, it does. The other thing is
when the white flag drops, you have to keep racing until you see the checkered flag, even if the white flag drops again.
Multiple choice, 1, 2, or 3 times. Thanks everybody for watching with us. We always have a good time hanging out with you. We appreciate your opinions and your input. I want to send a shout out to Cam and what he does with the NASCAR Pinty Series. He's a super fan out there who's working his way into the media side of things. Always has some great insight. One of the few guys who's really pumping that series right now. And Cam, we appreciate what you do, and keep it up with what you guys have going on for sure. So much stuff going on, Adam. Like I said, pick Frosttoberfest or pick Humberstone. If you're a dirt fan, it's Humberstone. If you're a pavement fan, it's Frosttoberfest. If you're a super fan, you're going to go to Humberstone on Friday, take your pick on Saturday, and Frosttoberfest on Sunday. And I think it's safe to say that you and I will be at probably that program. Will be Friday, Saturday, Humberstone, and Frosttoberfest Sunday, because we have to work Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I expect so. I'm ready for bed. Can I go to bed now?
Please do. You annoyed me all day. All right. See you guys. Thanks, Spencer, for all you do all weekend. Hey, a big shout out to our G-Force crew. They worked their balls off this weekend, all weekend, 3 days straight, kicking ass and taking names.
You can't say that. Our whole crew, like, metaphorically speaking, you may be correct, but...
Okay, so my daughter was on the crew.
And she worked hard. But
it's all good. Our crew worked very hard for the weekend.
She ended the weekend with the same number of balls she started the weekend with.
That's true. All right, we always have fun to close out the show. Thanks, Spencer, for everything you and Danny do in the trailer to keep us straight. We'll be live Friday, Saturday. We'll be lighting it up at Frosttoberfest this weekend, and hopefully Peterborough as well for Autumn Colors. So stick around, stay with us. Go back and watch some of the racing we had on the weekend. It was awesome. If you didn't check it out already, make sure you go watch it. Thanks, Adam. See you next Tuesday. See you too, Spencer.